friends, sports family. We're here back. We're once again here, man. We know that we were missing for a while because I had things to deal with at the start of my mom's burial and all of that. But we're now here again, and you guys will. I'm sure that you guys are surely happy that the big show is back again. And tonight, I have with me Ryan, the Chelsea. Surely happy because Chelsea got a 2-0 victory earlier on today in the Champions League. So, what more could he ask for? Even though it might be somewhat gloom and doom because of the shellacking that he got the past weekend from West Brom. And that being said, guys, want to say thanks to all of you who was kept on reaching out to me and also the producer. And your support is what makes this show goes on every day. So I want to say thanks to all of you and just keep on sharing the movement, man, and let us grow together because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So it's you guys and us on this journey. Welcome, Ryan. Welcome, boss.
Yes, good. I'm good.
All right, this sounds just about good. All right, so we saw a jam-packed weekend of football action, especially in the English Premier League. No further than an entertaining match that I saw Saturday morning between Chelsea and West Brom. Well, to be honest, I never saw the match because at that point in time I was on my way coming back into Kingston. So I was just there checking the scoreline, and when I reached at a particular place and I look and I say the update. West Brom 5, Chelsea 2. I was like, this must be wrong. So make sure jump on and check another app. I said, damn, this is for real. Brother, what really happened to you guys in that match?
Well, it seems as if West Brom is Thiago Silva's kryptonite because 2 games straight he hasn't performed against West Brom for various reasons. We all know what happened in the first game, and we also all know what happened in the second game. And being down to 10 men is the reason why we gave up all of 5 goals, which should not have happened, regardless of the fact. But it's football, and these things happen when you go down. So when you're a man short. But we have recovered today from that
All right, don't touch it yet,
shellacking,
man.
as they
Don't
call it.
don't touch it yet. Don't touch it yet, man. Stay in the Premier
No,
League,
I'm just
man.
I'm just saying we recover from that shellacking, as you call it.
Uh-huh.
So
But
hopefully we can use this as a booster to move forward for the other what is it, 8 games in the Premier League.
yeah.
So let us see what happens from here on.
You know that that's a stat that I was really surprised about. Yeah, that Callum Robinson, right? He scored twice in that game.
Is what, 5 goals in the Premier League overall for him, man?
Yeah, man, and
All
all
five
five of them
against
is against Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, remember that he was once at Sheffield United until he made the switch to West Brom, and I was like, just like I said, that it seems like West Brom is Thiago Silva kryptonite. It seems like Chelsea is actually Callum Robinson love affair because man always scores against you guys, whether it be at Sheffield United or now at West Brom. But as I
If him
said,
play Chelsea every
yes,
week,
you as Chelsea
he'll be
fan.
a world class player.
But the thing is that you guys might feel doom and gloom about it, but you know that me being a United fan is absolutely happy about what happened.
I
And
can
with
imagine.
that being said, we know of course I'm elated, man. Because Ryan, if you know Chelsea fans team, man, you are a Chelsea fan, but you are one of the most relaxed Chelsea fan that I know. Majority of them were all over social media. Oh, United, we're gonna pass them and we're gonna finish second and all of that. So I was there. I was like, I'm absolutely overjoyed, man. Bring your guys back down to earth and just look at that. Just look at it now, man. And with that being said, we now have Christopher Lynch joining. Welcome, Jen.
Good night, good night, good night, Ryan,
So
Level, and
Yeah,
viewers.
man, but night.
I know immediately I'm going to give you a fixture. Leeds United against Sheffield United. Leeds getting a 2-1 victory and steadily climbing up the table. Bielsa came out the other day and said that they're not particularly safe as yet. They want to gain some as much points as possible from the remaining games. And They started here by beating the worst team in the division. Chris Lynch, I saw that one.
I think when I saw Leeds early on in the season, they looked like a good team. When I watch a lot of games with Leeds, they really look like a team that belong in the Premier League. And it's good to see that they have ambition of continue getting points. And you need to beat teams like Sheffield, who is probably already out on their way out. So that's good. That's no surprise there. But it's good that Leeds is not partial in at the moment and looking to get as much points as possible. As I look forward to see them in the next season in the league. They're a good team and I hope they keep building.
So, my question to you now: if you were the man at the helm, like at the head of the table for Sheffield United, what sort of coach would you actually be looking at? Because I've been watching a lot of the Championship, and Norwich, who got relegated, are basically well. If all goes according to plan this weekend, they could be confirmed that they will be back in the Premier League because they have been absolutely stunning. They kept faith in Daniel Farke, and he has repaid the trust that they had in him, and they're on their way back into the league. So with Sheffield United, do you think they can make a quick turnaround and come back into the league? And which coach out there you think that could possibly do a job for them? Starting with you, Chris, and then I'll give it over to Ryan.
I don't have a coach at mind, but most times you need players as well. Because most times when the teams come up from the championship, they're trying to play loyalty with most of their players and not trying to go out shopping. And I think that loyalty sometimes to players is not good for the club. Because sometimes most of the players coming from championship don't have the quality to play in the Premier League. I don't know if most coaches or owners underestimate what takes place in the Premier League, but the odds is most time when you come up, you're going back down, especially if you don't spend big. So I don't think it's more so a coaching problem. I will try to get better players.
Yeah, man, but we already established that
But I
the
don't have
man,
a coach that must say will make a big difference. Like if you have one on top of your head, but I don't have a coach that I say will make a big difference in this scenario. I think if
I
you go back down and
yeah.
get and have enough players, like a lot of teams though, but like teams coming up don't take away their players because teams coming up are looking forward to get some of their best players. Then they should be good.
All right, so here's one of our commenters, case. I was just about to point this out to Ryan. Eddie or Lampard, which one do you think is best to take over the helm?
Well, I was waiting for you to reach to me for me to answer the question, and
Yeah, man, go
my
ahead.
first response would have been Eddie Howe.
But
I
it,
wasn't
it
thinking
is it
about
is
Lampard to Sheffield. I was looking at the makeup of Sheffield team, and looking at it, I think Eddie Howe would be a better fit, given that
but
Wilder.
stick up in though, Ryan. It is said that Eddie is on his way to Celtic.
Yeah, but Celtic have like 12 candidates, so we don't really know who.
But, but from the BBC start run with it as main headline that he's on the cusp, then you know that something is in something there. Gone? Alright. As I was saying, Chris, I saw it over the weekend that Eddie was one of the main front runners for it. And it could be a case where yes, he might get the job, and also no, they could also be viewing other candidates, as Ryan said, because I even see man like Rai Keane in the mix for the Celtics job. So it could be a case where yeah, Eddie is still on the
Celtic would
market.
be
So
better off taking anybody else but Rakin. Rakin is a cancer to a dressing room and to the punditry room.
but all right, don't actually think that Lampard could do a good job at Sheffield United.
I don't think the makeup of Sheffield would suit a Lampard.
But Ryan, what you should look at it is that a member a coach can come in and change the
Yeah, but I
overall
think he'd have
setup
to
of
do
a
too much.
team.
He'd have to do too much buying and selling to get Sheffield to have the team that he would want at Sheffield. And I think Lampard also said that he wants more time off. being a new
Okay.
dad and all of them some there. I think he indicated that he's not interested in any job right now. Remember when the Bournemouth job opened up, he
Yeah.
from that point he indicated that he wanted an extended time off before he thinks of going back into the coaching ring. So
Yeah, let's wait
Per-
and see. But
I think
personally,
that rules him. I think that rules him out of the Sheffield job automatically.
yeah.
personally, I think Lampard not trying to get no job down there. It seems because I don't
Well,
understand how you just start coaching and you need and you need time off
well,
already.
so what are you saying, Chris? Lampard running away from the champion, say, "Yo, I'm bigger than that."
That's a coaching challenge. That's a actual coaching challenge where you don't have a lot of money to spend and all of that. So that would test to see if he's a good coach or not. That's a
And
good
then that
test.
comes back. That is where I disagree with Ryan now because I actually don't think Eddie Howe is willing to go back into something like that. Remember that he faced the same dilemma when he was at Bournemouth. We had to make, well, basically bread out of stones, and yeah, he did well, but I doubt he would want to go back into that sort of setup again. If you look at
Fair.
the Celtic
That's a fair.
yeah,
That's a fair response because Eddie Howe already paid his dues. So it's fair to say that.
yeah. So we just have to wait and see, but it doesn't look really good for Sheffield United. Probably they have someone up there, you know. We don't know, but we just have to play the wait and see game. All right. Next up, we saw Man City extending their lead at the top of the table by getting a 2-0 victory over Leicester City. Ryan, that's over to you.
Manchester, Leicester. Well, we can basically crown City the champions now, and this also push make Leicester's fight for the top four a bit harder. Um, sorry, I'm reading this comment that as it came in a while ago. The
Focus,
championship.
man. Focus, focus, focus.
No, so I just saw the wording and decided to give it a look at. It's a fair statement to be made. But anyway, back to City and Leicester. City is basically the champions as is, and they have been consistent for the most part after they overcome their slump, the early season slump, and they are basically going to run away with the league. And they have also made the top four race a little bit more interesting by beating Leicester. So now Leicester have to be looking over their shoulder a lot more with teams from eight coming up, gunning for a top four position. That and we all
Careful,
know,
careful,
and
careful,
we,
careful. I use that word.
and
That's
we all
one
know
word.
what
When I
happened
say
last year.
it associates with a particular club, so careful. I use that word.
No, them not have no say in this. Sorry, sir, top four. That's even top six. Yes. So it's safe to say that word
Yeah,
right now.
man. All right, boss.
Yeah. So we all know what happened last year. This time when Leicester was in the same position, so they they should be a little bit worried going into this home stretch. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, all the time will tell. But when a team like that is in a position and well, they held out City for the entire first half and as expected, and I pointed it out to our producer Josh Carr on multiple occasions that you see whenever you see City go nil all with a team at halftime, whenever that second half start, expect them to come out all guns blazing, and so said, so done. Next up, we saw Chris Lynch
Mhm.
getting a 3-0 stroll over Arsenal. Let's point out that Thiago Alcantara, whenever he plays against Arsenal, he has came out victorious on every single occasion. Now you guys had a 3-0 victory over them. Jota, absolute class. Over to
Yeah,
you now, Chris.
it was a good performance by the team. They're having a bad season basically with injuries and everything playing a part in that. And it's good to see that they keep their composure against a team that always it's like a rival. Anytime you play in a top six team, it's always going to be like a mini rival, no matter where in the table that team is positioned. But Liverpool did play good football, and more importantly, they create chances, and more importantly, they put them away. Something they have been failed they have failed to done plenty of occasions this season. So it's good to see them creating chances. That's where I am disgusted at watching them most times. It just feel like it's just a pass, and I don't see where the goal coming from. I don't feel like any build up is going to create a goal most times, and I'm happy to see that in that game. That Jota, a guy that we miss majority of the season, I think had we had him back even without Van Dijk. Some of those games that we lost 1-0 or late in the second half, he would have probably put us over the top.
So I know that you're absolutely happy that you guys got the victory, and even more so with a moral boosting victory because you guys were up and down, and this win was absolutely vital in challenging for the top four. And further, then, well, it put Arsenal where Arsenal actually belong because they are mid-table clubs, so mid-table clubs should stay down there. Well, not even mid-table, 10th place and downwards. That is Arsenal position now, so just have to get that out there. Um, the thing that I realized though, Chris, is that it's whenever Jota plays, it can't bring something to Liverpool that Bobby Firmino doesn't. Jota
Mm-hmm.
is willing to go for the goal, unlike Firmino, who is looking to be that playmaker. And
Firmino is a number nine who
personally,
plays like he wears a number nine, but he's not a number nine. He plays like a number eight most times. Jata is the
and
real
sometimes
number nine in the team.
agreed upon. And we here with like addressing the commenters because we like to keep them engaged. So here's Shaki asking, what's the current situation in Grealish? Okay, the coach came out in the press conference and said that he's not willing to give a time frame as to when Grealish will be back, but he should be back because Grealish is one of the players that no matter how badly injured they are, they really want to get out there to help the team. And he said that Grealish felt a little discomfort earlier on today and had to pull out of training, but it was nothing major. And the player himself posted on his social media platform that he's waiting to return. So there you have it on Jack Grealish. Now move on to Southampton against Burnley, an entertaining fixture. Southampton came out 3-2 victors, and it was a very good game. I saw bits and pieces of it, and trust me, the Southampton goals were absolutely fantastic, man. Especially that one by, I believe it was Redman, the winner, that he caught on the volley. I'm sure you probably saw that, Ryan. What do you make of it?
I only saw the highlights, bits and pieces, just like you. I'm trying to remember the goals as we speak. Who were the scorers again? Vidra scored one, right?
Yeah, and Wood scored the penalty.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the goals as I speak. I remember the Redman goal.
Ing scored as well.
And came off injured, right?
Did he?
I think so.
All right, let me check and see. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
I vaguely
So the
remember the
scorers were
goals.
Stuart Armstrong, Ings, and Redman who scored for them, and Walcott was the one who set up the winner, and it was a good one. A lot of people thought that it was probably offside. He was offside initially, but it wasn't, and it was an absolute peach of a goal from Redman and the Valley. Now, what do you make of the overall play? And the thing that bothers me a lot is that this Southampton team, this week they come out and they look absolutely good. Well, this match per se, they came out and they look flat initially until they started step it up. That was after Burnley had went 2-0 up. Now, my thing is, why is it that some of these teams in EPL, Manchester United is one of those teams, they tend to come out flat in a lot of these games, and whenever they go behind, they try to come back. And the thing is that it's not every time this is going to happen. Southampton player, yeah, it's say attractive football in a sense. They like to attack and things like that with the two middle players always
Counter
hunting
press.
down. Yeah. However, whenever you beat the counter press, it seems like that's it for them. It's like everybody here does drop, and this match within itself kind of defied those because when they went 2-0 down, that was when they started to play football and they ended up getting the victory. But what I'm trying to get at is, why is it that they have been so poor this season, right?
The system that
Chris.
Southampton plays, they need quality players to rotate. Just like Liverpool will have a quality midfield, a set of midfielders that they can rotate to play that type of system. Southampton does not have that quality to continuously play that system. So, and plus they have injuries, consistent injuries. So some of the time it will affect them for games, a consistent amount of games running. Say we see them win 2 or 3 games on a trot, and then they go back and lose 2 and 3 on the trot. So they don't really have the quality to maintain the system that Ralph wants them to play. So it will be some of the time they will play good, some of the time they play bad because of that. I think because of that. So yeah, I think that's a thought.
Somewhat agreed upon because from I believe it was in the summer and then came the other transfer window. I pointed it out to one of our fellow analysts that I believe Southampton didn't do much in the transfer market. They needed more players. They were saying that no man, them good man. I'm saying they needed more players. And it comes back down to what you said. Based on the setup that Ralph wants to play, it needs players for those because if you don't have the players, then this is what is going to happen because constant running, you know that guess what? Players are going to go down injured, fatigue and all those things are going to come into play. Yes, some of the injuries that were down to like tackles from other players and things like that. But majority of them, if you look at it, quite a few of the players went down with hamstring injuries, right? That can come from countless amount of running up and down. And as we said, they play a counter pressing game. So they needed more players than happen. And I'm actually happy that they got the win and it keeps on putting them up the table because they're a team that I like. And I also like the coach because I think he's a very good coach. But come next season, they need to do better. Next up, we saw Newcastle taking on Tottenham, a game that finished 2-2. Hurricane was very good, but there came typical Tottenham under Mourinho. Chris, what's your take on this one?
Well, didn't like I said, bits and pieces of this one, but was a surprising result. Didn't expect Tottenham to lose. Especially when you have Hurricane. But like I said, it was a typical Jose
Draw.
Mourinho.
It's a
It was
drama.
a typical Jose. Yeah, I didn't expect. Yeah, didn't expect the draw game. Didn't expect the draw game at all. But like I said, it was a typical Jose Mourinho performance. But Tottenham has been like that all season. They have been inconsistent. Very inconsistent, and they're like other teams. They have the quality and shouldn't be drawing at this stage. At this stage, when you're looking to get into Champions League, you're trying to finish up the back end of the season as strong as possible. So that was a surprising 2-all draw.
Ryan, did it surprise you at all?
Not exactly. I thought Tottenham would have won, but the fact that they drew was not necessarily a surprise because we have seen it. They did. We have seen it throughout the season where they drop points when they are in winning positions, especially near the ending of games. They did it against Wolves. They did it against the same Newcastle, even though it was a controversial handscall and dire. And I think there were a couple more games where they gave up late goals to give up a win. So it wasn't exactly a surprise.
All right. You just saw his quote about Lampard as a 23-year-old in comparison to these players nowadays. He said that he has to come down to their level, and it's absolutely mind-boggling because me personally think he's throwing shades at Dele Alli. I think Dele Alli is the player he's actually throwing the shades at, and it leads you to think one thing: will Jose Mourinho will ever change how he goes about things? Because the constant, we know him from whenever. That man always come out in the media and criticize his players, and yes, sometimes it can be justified, but sometimes you got to keep those things in house. So, are you guys in agreement with what he said that 23 years back then, like Lampard, were way more mature than these players right now?
Yeah, but then you have to also look at the times that you're in. We're in different times now. We're in a social media era, so you know that players will have their phones with them more in the dressing rooms, and they will be on social media. They will be playing games. It's just a different era, but I get where it's
I'm,
coming from.
I'm glad you drew for that, because I'm going to draw for analogy. I had a conversation the other day, and someone was saying that, nowadays, we couldn't do this and get away with it, we couldn't do that and get away with it. I was like, so do you think that you could apply things that you did from in the 90s into today's generation and work? You have to adapt.
Exactly.
It's like a case like your measures that you use back then, use those same measures now, based on, as I said, technology has come
Different
in and
time.
it has. So there you have it. So it's just a similar case with the players. But Marino was just being typical Marino. Next up was Aston Villa getting a 3-1 victory over Fulham. It was a game of Trezeguet. Trezeguet was absolutely fantastic coming off the bench. That match I saw most of. Ryan, what do you make of it?
That match I saw the last 15 minutes of, which seemed to be the most
The
exciting
best
part of
part
the
of the
game.
match.
Yeah, so um, from what I saw, Dean Smith made the right calls because Trezeguet didn't score from season. That was the case, right? Or
He
if
had
he had
scored.
scored, he had maybe a one goal or something like that. But
Yeah.
he somehow made a bold call to leave Barkley on the bench and go for Trezeguet, and it paid dividend. So kudos to him for doing that.
I have to give them props, man, because people, well, they're actually right when they say that it's a Jack Grealish team. And without Jack Grealish, they don't seem to play well. But this match I ended up winning, and Grealish wasn't anywhere to be seen. But the thing that I want to point out is that Oli Watkins once again was on the score sheet, and you being an Englishman, Brian, would you actually bring him to Euros?
No.
Because he was part of the recent setup, and he has scored quite a few
Yeah,
goals in the
but
Premier League.
Watkins was only a part of the setup because of injuries. Saka, Rashford,
Yeah, man,
Sancho.
but remember that he's actually a striker, so I'm looking at it from
I
that
know,
standpoint.
but you don't need more than two strikers. You don't need to go on the plane with more than two strikers
No,
because here's the thing. Kane is going to play most of the games once he's fit. You have Calvert-Lewin who will be his deputy. And even if one of Kane or Calvert-Lewin goes down, you have Rashford who can deputize, who can come in and play striker. So you don't need three number nines.
nah, that's
You know?
enough fight, my boy, hard, man. When I fight Watkins so hard for
Not about fighting him, him just if once everybody is fit, Watkins does not make that squad. Even if it's a 30-man squad, Watkins doesn't make it.
All right, boss. Next up was Man United getting a 2-1 victory over Brighton. Brighton took the lead earlier on through former old boy Danny Welbeck scoring again versus United. He did so for Arsenal, and here he was once again scoring for Brighton. And United popped up back, and they ended up getting the victory. Um, Chris Lynch, what you made of this one?
I'll,
I have
uh,
few,
I'll-
I have few pointers, but I'm going to let you go
all
first.
right. What I must say about Manu over the years, no matter no matter if Manu is not winning, I know a lot of gamblers, they love Manu for this reason. You can bet that most times when they go behind against teams like this, they coming back. they coming back, and you know
All
why?
right, and on that point, let me point out that United has gained 25 points coming from behind this season.
I'm telling you, I'm not a Manu supporter, but I'm a football lover. And when Manu goes behind, yeah, most times I know they're coming back. Most time people celebrating and say, "Oh, they're down," I know they're coming back. And this game wasn't different. They just started to play different when they went behind. Danny Welbeck took a good goal, well taken goal. But once they went behind, they look a little flustered in the first half, to be honest. The first half went by, and even the commentators was saying this was the worst thing that could happen for Brighton because Manu weren't playing up to standard at the moment, and he was saying that's the worst thing can happen because coaches talk and the players feel down, feel like they didn't do as well as they could. And that was so. When they come back out for the second half, they look a total different team and get the job done. So it wasn't a surprise to me. Normally, like I say, when I see they go down one goal to nil, I like to watch the game because I like to watch the game when teams of better quality are down. To
Where I
be
say
honest.
entertainment
Yeah,
value, eh?
more entertainment because now you have to play good football, and most of the time teams with lesser quality is going to be defending. And Brighton didn't offer much after they scored the goal. To be honest, it's like it's like they start to just thinking that the one goal would be enough, and I knew that it wouldn't.
All right, first and foremost, Brighton made a big blunder by not scoring more than one in that first half because United was absolute thrash. No better way to put it. They were awful right through that first half. And boy, man, and keep on saying, Fred is not a Brazilian. Fred is actually a bit. They said Fred is from Belize. That's what the man them keep on saying because Fred was awful in the
From
first
where?
half.
Belize.
Belize. In the second half, he stepped it up, yes, and he played better in the second half. But in that first half, man, it's like every ball that man get, the man give where get tackled and thing like that. And we're just so all over the place. All over the place. And initially, I saw a lot of United fans asking why did Rashford started. He was injured and yet still only put him out. And he wasn't doing anything at all on the pitch. Yes, he ended up popped up with a goal in the second half. And immediately afterwards, he was pulled because of the same injury problem. So it leads me to one thing. Yes, we know that the player want to go out there and play and all of that. But sometimes you as a coach need to really step up to the fore and say, boss, go and go take care of yourself. Because yes, they're saying that with the problem that he has, it requires surgery, but he can't do the surgery right now because they know that Euros is around the corner and things like that. So I'm like, boss man, if this player don't want to take care of himself, you need to step in and take care of the man.
What is the problem
Because
that he
if
has now?
all right, he has a recurrent back issue and now he
Oh,
also
that's the same
has
thing
an
with him.
ankle problem. Yeah. So he wants to go out there every
Didn't
match.
he do surgery last year with the back issue?
Somewhat, but it didn't heal properly and things like that. It was rushed back. So it needs proper healing, but it requires that type of surgery that will have him out for a period of time. And I want to also say that was a well taken goal by Mason Greenwood. I saw a lot of Edison Cavani in that goal. So it seems like Greenwood is one of them who's actually taking the teaching from the old man. Otherwise, I'm that all you need for the better. Yeah, your subs were alright, yeah, but you need for the better. Otherwise, I'm that we're wasting more time. And United need to clear more points, and that's it. Next up, we saw Everton taking on Crystal Palace. That match ended 1-1. We saw the return of James Rodriguez, and guess what? He was on the score sheet. Ryan, what do you make of that one?
Bad, bad game for Chelsea. We needed. It was a good win for Everton in a football sense because well they outplayed Crystal Palace and the Everton players did what they were supposed to do, got their goals, took their goals well, and they are also now in a fight for a top four position. So kudos to them for doing that, even though I never wanted them to win, but they did what they were supposed to do on the day and they got their 3 points.
So, Ryan, if you feel so doom and gloom about Everton winning, what do you have to say about West Ham getting that victory? And this was the game made in Manchester by a player that was excelled on loan. Jesse Lingard ran the show for West Ham and he was involved in all three goals. And
Yeah.
man, that first goal that when he ran basically from inside his own half, I watched the entire build up and I was like, got that goal, man. What do you make of it, Chris Lee?
And that shows that the type of player that Lingard is. Lingard thrives in space. Once you don't give Lingard space, then you will not play football. If you
Next
play
point.
against Lingard with a low block, he won't do anything. Lingard needs space. And in a smaller team like West Ham, as opposed to Man United, where people will plug spaces against Man U, Lingard will get the space in a West Ham team where they're a smaller team and more teams will try to attack them more than they attack a Manu. So he
West
will
man, the man is in an environment that suits him perfectly. Man
exactly.
the man
So
is a mid-table player.
West Ham will suit him more given that they are a smaller team. So he's basically now a big fish in a small pond. Whereas at Manu he was the opposite. So West Ham
Yeah.
suit him.
No, that first goal it was crushing to see, and as I said, it went from his first half, from his half straight into Wolves territory and got the goal, and then
And the same with
came
the
the what?
assist.
Yeah, man, the second goal I was about to point out, man. That laid off for well, it was a pre-assist somewhat. The ball was played over the top, and it was kind of trickling out, and if did something that Berbatov did back for United back in the day, and he flicked it inside. Masuaka run onto it, crossed it for Fornals to slot it in, and then he claimed the assist for the third goal, which was scored by Jordan Bowen. Wolves started to mount a comeback. They got a goal from Dendanka. Finally, Traore finally got an assist. And he did what was expected of him. He ran the full length of the pitch by outmuscling a couple players, flew over a couple challenges, and yeah, he kind of crossed blindly, yes, but luckily Dendanka was on the end of it. And then arguably the best play of the game by Pedro Neto. That assist for Fabio Silva, it was so sublime, man. That pass, and yes, they were back in it, but Wolves losing once again, and leads you to think one thing: are they all even his team? You could say yes, but
Yeah.
with that being said, that's a roundup on
Yeah, but
it's
like Lingard look really good, and like Ryan said, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for some players like Lingard who seems like he likes space, because once he got that ball and he looked to his left, he saw a lot of space and he just started running. So, like Ryan said, in the Manchester United team, clogged up with players looking to do the same thing as him, there's not enough space to do it. And because there's not players in West Ham team looking to do what he's willing to do, take on players and go by them, then it's just easier to do it in such a team.
yeah, agreed upon. Good point. That's it.
It's there.
All right. So earlier on yesterday and earlier today, we saw the return of the UEFA Champions League. Chris, I know that you're surely not happy, man. Yes, you got a win on the weekend over Arsenal, but you are brought back down to reality. Real Madrid 3, Liverpool 1. It was the show of Vinicius Jr., but talk about that ball from Tony Cruz to Vinicius Jr., man. It was like an art.
It
So
was
how you
a
feel like,
it was a delicious ball. Bad positioning of centre backs, but it was a delicious ball. And the striker did a fabulous job of positioning his body to get it away from the defenders and take them out of the picture. And then
Yeah.
all he had to do was put it past Allison. So
hold on a
the
second though.
ball was great, and the positioning of the striker was great as well.
But Chris, what you
Yeah.
made of that man wasn't even calling the match. That man was absolutely a ghost. Trent Alexander-Arnold gave away possession 23 times, and he was at fault for one of the goals. Boss, Trent has been off form, and I saw a clap coming on and said, "Oh, Southgate's supposed to select side and don't select the best right back in the country." Number one, Trent has been very good for England whenever he actually got a chance. Number two, he has been out of sorts of Liverpool this season. So, club, you were brought back down to hurt by this performance by Trent.
But
But
What you
remember
make of him, man?
on the weekend, Trent was one of the better players on the field. So
yeah, you have to support the players no matter what they think Levan. So I don't have a problem with Klopp saying that. I expect Klopp to say that. It's me, you and Ryan as people who looking to analyze the game now. Klopp is not looking to analyze Trent. Klopp is
true.
looking to give Trent confidence.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to come and say England mustn't pick Trent. I don't So he didn't surprise me by saying that. But that's a fault that he always have. He always have to overcome compensate for Trent every time. If he play quality teams, he always have to put players over there to cover Trent. So that is not some magic that no one watching Liverpool don't know. If Liverpool fans are people who watch football don't know that Klopp always seems to be putting people on the right side to help Trent because of how bad he get positioning. I can go back to a lot of games in my head that I see bad positioning from Trent against quality teams, and you're going to pay for it. And Real Madrid is a quality team, and once Trent is making those schoolboy mistakes by just not positioning himself good, you're going to pay for it. People like Tony Cruz is going to see where you're at in their in their 2020 vision, and it's going to string balls that make you look so dumb on the field. So nothing wrong with what you say, but don't look for a clap to tell you that Trent is a brilliant. Is not a
No, man,
brilliant player.
I was just trying. I was just drawing you out, man. But do you think you guys can actually mount a comeback with you guys only scoring well at Anfield? You have not scored more than one goal at all 2021. No, you need two. Do you think you guys can actually do it?
It's not an upset, especially when you go back to the history that we have in Champions League and in European competitions. And if you're going to go back to 2 years ago, against Barcelona, we were down 4-0, coming
3
to 3-0, coming to it was 3 or 4.
3 because Dembele missed the fourth.
Yeah, 3 coming back to Liverpool. I think the away goal is a good thing, and Real Madrid didn't do nothing that scared me per se. They didn't do nothing yesterday that really scared me, that to say, oh, the leg is over. It's still game on, and I think even though Real Madrid has the upper hand, because now they can just come and sit back, and Zidane has a love affair with Champions League. He will do he can't do nothing wrong in Champions League. So it's all Real Madrid to lose. But Liverpool, I don't think Liverpool think they're out of it.
Maybe I'll ask you the question again because you're trying to beat around the bush, you know. You guys haven't scored more than one goal at Anfield out 2021. Do you see you guys scoring two without Real Madrid putting one past you? Because mind you, both of no defense not good. Because Real Madrid missing their first choice pairing with Varane and also Ramos out. Don't know if Ramos will be back because I think he's serving what? Is it a ban that he was serving?
No, injury. I think he's out for both legs.
All right, so let's say both of them are out, and then Liverpool centre back pairing Kabak and Nathaniel Phillips together. Do you see you guys scoring two without actually conceding?
It depends on how we start off the game. It depends on how we start off the game, because they need confidence. And I don't think if they concede first, if they're going to concede first against Real Madrid, I think it's game over, because then they have to overcompensate on attacking, and Real Madrid more than likely will make you pay for that. So,
Right.
but like I said, I don't think Liverpool players they're thinking about Barcelona. It was a worse situation coming back home with no away goal. So I think they're thinking they can still do it.
All right. Now in the next match that we saw, on that particular day, we saw City getting a 2-1 victory over Dortmund. Dortmund were robbed. I'm not going to stop saying it. That goal by Bellingham should have stood. That should have stood, and it was chalked off because they said it was what? He fouled Henderson, in which I watched it over multiple times, and at no point in time did Bellingham actually foul Edison. It was more the other way around.
Edison
And
foul, yeah.
It was chalked off, and guess what? City end up getting the winner at the end by Phil Foden. Ryan, your take on that?
I agree with you that Bellingham was robbed of his goal, because that was a clearly legitimate goal, and it showed also the fault that VAR has where those calls are concerned, because due to the fact that the referee blew his whistle at a certain point, you can't refer it. That to me is a silly flaw within their ruling. And because it wasn't a penalty incident or something to that effect, I found that to be a silly reasoning. And that question don't make no sense, because we're talking about.
Let me just chop it into pieces, Ryan. First and foremost, how much times teams has gotten robbed and it has went in City's favor many times. So again,
Many, yeah.
Tyrese, you have been all over with this nonsense. Throw it away, boss man. Nonsense. Discuss the issue at hand and leave that alone. Continue.
Yeah, so it was a very bad call by the referee, and with VAR in place, the ref should have allowed the play to complete before he blew his whistle, which is what they are told to do for the most part anyway. So he messed up there big time. As far as the football itself went, City were the better team. And Dortmund, when I saw Dortmund got the equalizer with 5 minutes left, I said, okay, this is going to finish 2-1 City. Because we all know that Dortmund love to give up late goals. And so said, so done. They gave up the late goal that I expected them to give up. So, but 2-1 is not a bad result for Dortmund because they still have a very good chance of um, for the return leg. So let us see what happens.
Yes, Arlan Shakes on a for a commenter saying that the ref in Dartman match did the rumba earlier before the match. But as I said, Ryan, expected City to come and you know what was the most surprising thing about this game itself? It was the starting lineup by Dortmund because I saw Ansgar Noff actually starting ahead of Brandt and
I was
Targan
surprised about
Asgard.
that.
I was like, Brandt himself, I actually said it before that I think Brandt made a poor move by going to Dortmund. I think he should have stayed at Leverkusen and build a legacy, but he went over to Dortmund, and since then his stocks has fallen because at this point in time, Brandt not even can make Germany team again, to be honest. So he has fallen way down the pecking order, and to see him on the bench in such a crucial match, I was like, is this so the man
Recently,
was?
I think it's a couple of weeks ago, a German fan said that you'd want Brandt at Manu over Grealish because he thinks Brandt is better than Grealish. And I had to laugh.
Oh boy! All right, next.
And you as a German fan, do you agree?
No, I take Grealish over Brandt right now.
Okay.
Probably a year ago or two ago. Then yes, I would agree that I would take Brandt over Grealish, but right now,
Yeah,
absolutely not.
I also agree with that. A year or two ago, it's a Brandt over Grealish because
Brandt
Brandt
is
is a player that
play again.
I like. Well, I should say,
But
let me say liked because he fall off big time now.
yeah, and as I said, the move to Dortmund kind of mashed up his career. He should have stayed at Leverkusen and build on, but you know, most of these players like to go to the bigger two clubs in Germany. So that's what happened, and his stock's falling. However, I see that Sancho is probably getting back to fitness and more than likely will be up for the second leg. So let's see how that goes. That
should
away
be
goal
very
by that away
Yeah,
goal by Dartman was pretty crucial. And keeping the
very.
score at 2-1 was even more crucial.
the
All right.
favorites are in trouble, and I'm sure the coach knows that they need to get the job done, and that's a lot of pressure on the team now.
Because let's face it, Haaland wants to score against his father's side, and Sancho wants to score against his old team for the second leg. So let us see. Let us see what happens.
All right. Next up, we saw a very entertaining match earlier on today. Bayern Munchen 2, PSG 3. Kylian Mbappe scoring twice. Joshua Kimmich having he was absolutely boss in that middle today. But Bayern at home losing to PSG, nobody didn't really predicted that, and it was a shocker from Manuel Neuer. Sometimes I'm like, yes, he's my German keeper, but this man gives me a headache at times because sometimes the things that he does, I'm just scratching my head. But at the end of the day, 3-2 PSG have three goals away. Ryan, how you see this one finishing? And it is said that Lewandowski will be out for 4 weeks.
All right, put it this way. Bayern had what, 31 shots on goal?
Yeah, and PSG had like 7.
Yeah. So if Lewandowski was there, I think Bayern would have won. This could have been a big thrashing PSG would have gotten, especially if Lewandowski and Serge was there. So I think PSG got away with the fact that both of them were missing, and
All right,
they still managed to create so much chance. I
all right.
think
So,
if one or both was there, then Bayern could have won this tie easily
all right. So,
Yeah,
with the
Chris,
amount of chances created.
Chris,
even with,
Chris, go ahead.
even though the former PSG striker who scored played well with himself, he did hold up play good. That what his name? Eric Chipper
Moting?
thing.
Chupomoting, but he's nowhere close to
No
Lewandowski,
one
man. Come on,
no, he did no, but
Lewandowski turns.
Come
Hold
on,
on, Chris.
Moting
Watch it, Chris.
they
is a red stripe Premier League player.
they did miss their talisman, man. They did miss Lewandowski, but it was two school. Like I said, two goals was two error from one was from Naya, and then
Yeah.
the back line Neymar basically hung a ball up in the air, and the defense and all the defense was under it, and Marquinhos just went for it and put it in the back of the net. So basically, it was what we'd call two schoolboy error. And I think Bayern and PSG both know that this tie is not over,
I
especially
agree.
when you look at how Bayern was. They were very dominant in the game and even could have get an equalizer, even though Mbappe goal was very good. He had that cone. Is the second time I see him do this in Champions League. All of
Moting?
more thing stand up as a cone because he needs to get right to Mbappe.
Messi string him up before.
Give- you cannot give players with so much quality that time, and what he did was give Mbappe too much time.
I
And
was just about to point out that, though, Chris, that it didn't really help Bayern in a sense, although PSG can argue that with Marquinhos going down, but Bayern lost Goretzka and Scholler to injury, so that didn't really help the case either.
Yeah.
And you know that Sula is first choice. Both things are big game for the man then now. So you know that go already. And Goretzka and Kimmich in that middle has been the man that has pulled the string all season long. And if you look at the substitution that was made at that point in time, we're like, okay, so they have gone one midfield man short. So it is said that Gnabry should be back for the second leg. Well, he was out because of COVID, but he's expected to be back by then. So
You remember a couple weeks ago when the German squad got picked and I said Germany, their best hope to win games is to outscore
all score.
opponents?
Yeah, man, I
Yeah,
remember.
man, if Zula is your first choice, you know how bad that is. Zula and you have Rudiger as well, who is one of your first choice defenders. You definitely have to think about outscoring your opponents with
Yeah,
those guys
true.
as your first choice.
True. But Chris, your final take on the match itself?
yeah, but it was a good game. I think PSG, if they fancy themselves of advancing, they know that they have to come and play better because they give up too many chances. And it was Bayern have to blame themselves for losing that one because of the two mistakes that they made defensively. But it was a good game overall.
Agreed upon. And finally, we saw Chelsea getting a 2-0 victory over Porto. One Mason Mount and Ben Chilwell scoring the two English players. Ryan, your take.
Good victory, especially keeping a clean sheet on the road. That is crucial to our chances of progressing, and it shows why everybody wanted Porto and why Chelsea was glad to get Porto. So let us hope we can keep 10, 11 players on the field at home for the second leg, so we don't give up 5 goals
Yeah,
against Porto.
it was a good goal from Mason Lampard. Oh, I mean Mason Mount. It was a good game from Mason Mount. It was a good goal. It was a well taken goal. Just turned inside. Already decided that once he turned with that ball, what he was going to do, and he
And you know,
executed.
Mount seemed to be very good on the half turns
Yeah,
because
Ah,
the assist that he gave Hudson Odoi against when he turned Kamavinga. You
yeah.
remember that one?
Yeah, against Renault.
Yeah, when Kamavinga came at him and he shift him on the half turn and play the ball wide to Hudson Odoi who ran onto the
Yeah,
ball and
But
Yeah.
you know why that's the case, Ryan? It's because he's kind of diminutive. You know that he has good center of gravity, and
Mount is
then
5'10", so it's not that diminutive, it's just slender.
well, this when you see him on the field, he looks like a diminutive figure, to be honest. But the thing is that he has the intelligence and the frame of mind to actually pull off that moves on many occasions. And I've seen this from he was at Vitesse over in the Dutch league where he did that a lot, and then he came over into the championship with Derby, and I saw it even more. So he has that in his
Okay.
locker that he has a sharp turn, and with that intelligence, he tend to be one step ahead of the incoming player.
And
Okay.
when Chelsea changed the coach, this is what I always say about Chelsea. They seem to know whenever to change a coach. It always work for them. It just always work for them. They seem to get in a different gear each time they change a coach, and that's what's happening right now with this Chelsea team.
Well, let's hope we stay in that same gear till the end of the season.
And let's also point out clearly because some Chelsea fans then come on and talk. Enough of the Chelsea fans they never rate Mount. A whole lot of them. So enough of them want me see a
Vast
talk
majority
about.
of them, vast majority, did
Right.
not don't rate
I
Mount
personally
because
can point out one man that I know that believed in Mason Mount from day one. One of our viewers, his name is Casey, and that man believed in Mason Mount from that man was at Vitesse. He's always talking about him. If you look at it now, 90, I'll put that percent, 95% of Chelsea fans didn't believe in Mason Mount. So nobody can talk like say yes, all I know believe in a man from day one.
you
As,
saw
It's
what
from him
Southgate,
for
as,
the
you saw what
madness.
Southgate said last week.
Yeah, man, I saw it, man.
that's
That
where
that
his
perfectly sums it up.
that's where his name came from, though, Mason Lampard. Because whenever I go on social media, they will complain that Lampard is playing Mason Mount too much.
And they complained that Southgate paid him too much. So you needed a
They said
foreigner
it.
now. So a foreigner had to come in and pick him for people to believe in him.
I don't think there was a week when Chelsea play from like week 1 to 13. I don't think there was a week when Lampard play Mason Mount and it wasn't. Why you playing your son? Why you playing your son? Yeah, that's no. So you're right, Levan. A lot of Chelsea fans didn't rate him.
All right, our final take on that. Our producer Joshka said that Chelsea fans can stop. They can just put all their eggs in one basket and just throw it in the bin because Porto will come back in the next leg.
Because what?
And he said that he expect Porto to overturn the tie.
Okay,
Coming
interesting.
from the producer. And
That was
final
supposed to be funny. Are him
probably
serious?
not. No man, the man is just taking jobs at you guys, man. Come on. But let's get this in quickly. Chris, what a wild west, man. Gonzaga thought they had it all sealed when going to the final and expected to complete the clean sweep by not losing a match. But guess what?
You have
Here
to
came
play the
Baylor,
game.
and Baylor stopped them in their tracks.
You
We're
have to
talking
play
about
the
NCAA
game.
basketball.
You have to play the game. That's how sport is played. That's why we love it so much, and that's why we participate in it so much. You just have to play the game. They were trying to go unbeaten, and the most important one, they just couldn't get over the line.
You know what killed them at the beginning? They started off the game way too slow. And going behind by 19 points at one point.
Yeah,
Boss man, there's no way you're going to come back from that against a quality team. And Baylor held out and ended up winning the title. Boy, I
yeah.
was I,
They
I
are
was
the number one 3 point team in the league in terms of percentage. So if they are getting the trees going early, you're in problem basically, and that's what happened.
all right. Quick question for you though, Chris. Give me the thought throughout this, and because quite soon we'll see a few of these players in the NBA. So give us 5 players that people can start looking forward to seeing the NBA soon.
Not on the spot, but next show I discuss 5. I was actually discussing that with somebody else, but next show I will have people that coming out
All right,
probably should come out with
I can
top
reel off one
10.
off the top of my head. Tim is one.
Yeah,
Timmy has to be in the mix, man. The same man that a lot of
yeah,
people think is way older than 20 years old. But
More
he's
than
not.
likely, he's going to declare for the draft. More than likely. More than likely, you soon see teams, you soon see him saying him not going back to school or whatever. But more than likely, yeah,
But
easily should be in the top five.
all right, we are looking forward to you talking about it on the next live, so ensure that you have it. And let me call out one of our viewers. Fine action, we need to see upon the thing now, man. Yeah, all out too long, boss, man. We need Mark Bryan. We're saying in the comment section. Don't tell me say internet that's start out. No. We need to show now, because Ryan been flying the flag for the Chelsea fans. So someone need to step up to the fore, man, and come on and join the show, man. With that being said, on that note, we have come to the, the end of the live, and it was once again a good show. It was the first show being back after what happened the other day. Put my mom down into that place. It was one of the worst. Well, for me, it was absolutely terrifying, and I managed to compose myself and got through it. And here I am back with you guys, and it was absolutely wonderful being with you guys. And thanks again to our producer Josh Carlo made this possible. And nonetheless, all our viewers, you are the ones that makes this show possible. You're the ones that fly the flag off the Sports Frenzy show. So keep on supporting us as we keep on growing from strength to strength. And once again, thanks to Chris, our residential analyst, and also Ryan, the man who never says no once he's available. Thanks for being here, guys. And this was a very successful live. At one point, we have over 40 viewers and also over 200 comments. So you guys are the one that make this possible. Thanks for that, and until next time, peace out. Take care.